Maybe. All right. Hi, folks. Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Looks like everything is hopping, popping, rock and rolling. So let's get this party on the show. The Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by, oh God, this thing's getting hot against me. Okay. The Simple Sword, my manual of defense to make understanding the introduction to swordplay easy and simple and processable. The Fighting Axe, because learning how to swing an axe shouldn't be more complicated than swinging an axe. And Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, the role-playing game. Created, based in Luke Stone's wonderful world of Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, yours truly has made a wonderful role-playing game that's rules light, fun heavy, and pick up and play. Get the quick play now. This is going to be a collector's item. I love this. Real impressed. All righty. Evening all. Hello, Historical Fencing Guild. As you can see, I'm flying high, fine and wise, having myself a big and rich time, and I am drastically under-caffeinated. So 1 second. Now, folks, while you're watching this, don't forget to hit the likes. Brothers and sisters, I am fighting algorithms on all fronts right now, and it has been a pain, which is why I'm running just a couple of minutes late. You have my humblest apologies. I consider that pretty bad form, but I couldn't help it because Facebook was glitching to do the sharing. Apparently, because I am in a lot of groups with people who have been banned and blocked a lot, all my comments and shares get metered. This is problematic. Is all good. Thank you. I appreciate that, folks. We also have folks, do I have stuff to talk about this week? This is the last time you will see me as a young and happening 30-something. Shortly after this broadcast, I will be well into the realm of my 40s. While that does not upset me, it does amuse me, and I am looking forward to it. I have some stuff. This is 40's a big birthday, and those who know me know I am absolutely terrible at birthdays and knowing what my favorite anything is. I was raised to be helpful and selfless, which means 364 days out of the year, I'm an awesome guy, but one day out of the year, I really have trouble processing because I'm a support character, guys. I'm a support class. I'm not meant to be an MC, and people make me an MC once a year, and I get a little confused. My hair is changing colors, though, what's left of it. Much of this will be gone in the brown. Oh, no, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I have noticed as I've approached 40, my give-a-dang has hemorrhaged greatly, and it's quite liberating. So, who wants to see what I spent $25 on that's probably a failure, but we're going to see if we can make it go? You do, because no one's arguing with me. This, guys, is a piece of polyethylene. And unfortunately, while it was described as incredibly rigid, it is, let me show you how little. You see the bend there? It is not. Oh, you're not wrong. I do like boobs, but that's neither here nor there. Watch me get banned on Facebook again just for liking something on YouTube. But I bought this thinking I could make a light, small sword for myself. And it's a little... Yes, well, it's a 5-foot staff, 1/2 inch by 3/4 of an inch. I was thinking I could build up as a blade, and it is really, really wibbly. The longtime guildies will remember something known as the wibbly knife. This is Amazon. If you're really interested, I can share the link. I'm not saying I can recommend it because, like I said, it's really, really wibbly. Now, if it turns out that it has good spring retention and it's this wibbly but snaps back, I might recommend it. I bought it, so I will play with it and make some small, try making a small sword out of it. But woo! I don't want to do too much. I don't want this to trigger a blink warning because I know strange things can. But yeah, I'm gonna try. Basically, the idea is I'm trying to make something that will fit comfortably in my tiny metal wrapped demi-Borg hands. I am not quite cybernetically enhanced yet. On the chance that I get that, I don't know. That's a problem. Being an old computer guy and a prehistoric programmer, I wrote programs in the 80s. I don't do much with it now. I trust most computer assisted things about as far as I can throw them. And that's not even close. Like, yeah. Anyhow, so I will be cutting this down into probably a relatively short blade length. It's way too long. But I'm still on a quest to get this, which even with my stuff I can grab in poly something or other. So if this doesn't work, I'll wait a month or two when I have some more guild money saved up, and I'll buy another shot of a different kind of plastic to review and see if it'll work for that. If it doesn't work for this, I'll see what else I can do. There's always options. Y'all know me. But yeah, I do want to remind everyone, and I'm going to put it in the chat. Trunk shift at possible. Yes, Johnny Cage. And Johnny, rest assured, whatever happens, you will be revisiting and tormenting the players very soon on Red Valkyrie Presents. But I used to be almost exclusively Facebook, and because I'm having some problems in that everything I post now is getting screened. This is shenanigans. I literally, when my hands were twitching, I clicked the image one of the cosplayers put out and shared it, went to delete it, and in the time it took me to delete it, they blocked it and basically cut me off and gave me like some kind of strike because it was indecent. I'm like, for something on Facebook, whatever, because that's not obviously not what I share, so it's not what I'm about, but fine. And then I made the horrible mistake. My buddy Tommy, good guy, Thomas, a minor, got his degree in welding, and he's off doing that. And I said, man, I'm so proud of you. It's been a long road, and there have been times I've wanted to strangle but you're getting where you need to be. That violated the bullying things and got me a ban because I told him at one point I wanted to, but I'm proud of him. Yeah. That actually blocked my ability briefly to share this video. So I've got a little bit of pre-birthday rage, but I'm okay because I have post-swim chill, so it's all balancing out. Yes, the mighty Manatee Man actually manateed yesterday, and it was transcendental. If you get the dimensions out there, we can see what a custom in that would cost to look at. Oh, yes. Of course. Hi, Michaela. So, yes, I will give you all the dimensions on my beloved Bilbao, and we could talk because I need a brace of these, but some small enough for my hands. And yet we are working on that. Some other things that are coming up. I am planning a series trying the short engine. I know, long-winded Nick, the guy who goes nowhere and takes 3 hours to get there, is going to try to do YouTube shorts. But I think there might be interest. And please, chat, hit me up in the chat if custom hilt dagger. Oh, Steve, Steve's talking sexy to me because I love me some light fencing stuff. And I want to shout out Johnny Cage too, because Johnny Cage, if you're okay with adultish art, is actually incredibly talented. I did not know that. I just thought he was another cool person on Twitter. So you follow him too. And guys, I just want to thank you. I birthdays make me retrospective, and I think right now my circle, the people I know best, between the guild and the Rising Tide, are the best people in the gosh darn world. And I am like that people get hokey. They say, I found my tribe. And while I don't believe in that breed of hokey, I do have some stuff. Yeah, you got talent, Johnny. I'm an old anime-ish guy, and you can find my stuff on DA. Wait. 1 second. Down on the farm. Okay, no sound for you after the last week's debacle. But yeah, let's see. I'm all about building people up. So whenever it's my birthday, I did actually get some early presents. And they aren't really well, one is going to be huge. But because it came from my family, and my family are equate like the Fey Mafia and do so proudly, the Luxembourgese mob, not actually the Luxembourgese mob, assorted acronyms following me. That is called a joke. Please don't zuck me. No. Anyway, they gave me a gift that I can't talk about right now, but it's pretty darned awesome and will require a lot of activity out of me once the temperature is low enough to be safe. But I do want to show off. So do y'all mind if I show off something totally off topic? My wife got me some stuff. And because I actually did a tour of my old town, Michigan City. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. And shout out to Steve, who apparently sent me something else. I believe it's guild related if it's what I think it is. But he sent me the tracking number. I don't ever expect anything for anything. Like, if I get a smile from Christmas from people, I'm genuinely touched. That's who I am. And my birthday is like, Maddie's like, but it's the day we celebrate that you exist. And I'm like, yeah, but you want to see something cool? The Right Hand of Doom. My wife got me a model of the Hellboy Right Hand of Doom. This has nothing to do with the Historical Fencing Guild and everything to do with just being awesome. Although, as somebody who deals with stuff, I have a couple other presents I'll probably show later because I'm redoing things. I'm going to be completely, probably this week, finally redoing my entire. Thank you. Wall of Cool. I can't show it out over YouTube because there's so many copyright violations that I'm looking at. And I need to get a new shoot. And I was just at my parents' house. I need to get a new Starbucks stir for Dude Thulu. But yes, this is my vinyl bank replica Right Hand of Doom, complete with like the BRPD chain of evidence tag. I love this thing, and I got a great deal from Pat over at Heroes Haven in Michigan City. Now, I'm not getting any money from them, and I live very, very far away from Michigan City. It's a multi-hour trip, but to this day, Heroes Haven in Michigan City is what I consider my home game comic shop. Guy who runs it, his name's Pat. His last name has fallen out the side of my ear, but he's one of the most amazing people. He was very welcoming to me, and that's where I did most of the original playtesting for Big Stompy Robots. So while off that, I am going to do a shout out to Heroes Haven on Route 20 in Michigan City. It's also next to the Peking restaurant, which is the best expletive Chinese food I have ever had, and I've been going there for 35 years now. So with everything that's happened and people being idiots about this virus, Chinese restaurants, especially independent ones like the Peking, have been hit hard. So guys, instead of talking about me or my birthday or the sort of stuff I should be, I want to plug them. And of course, Sue, who runs it, has no idea, and she probably never will. I'm doing that. But they are amazing. It's a little strip mall. It's one of the places that I go in MC, and I had a back home day actually yesterday. It's why I wasn't active this morning. Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman for days. I am a lighthearted entertainment viewer. John, you're wrong. The Peking is not closed. I ate there yesterday. It is curbside service. It has moved from its location on Franklin to the north side of 20, just east of the intersection of 421 and 20 on the north side in Michigan City, Indiana. Heroes Haven downsized because of rent hikes, so they're in about half their location. They are still there because, like I said, I was there yesterday. I'm old enough at Peking to remember when it had the other location in a beautiful dine-in. But yes, and hi, John, good to see you. But yes, absolutely, go. They have the best food in the world. I mean, I'm serious. If I won the lotto, I would still go to Michigan City to get Peking. Hi, Foxy. Yeah, go hit him up, John. You will remind. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's always hard. With that's why I'm saying the absolute idiocy about current events and people blaming Asians, which is stupid, has like made it hard for the people who own Chinese restaurants. And if that bothers you, leave my channel, leave me alone, go with whatever God you worship, and don't darken my doorstep. Otherwise, get great food, support the small businesses. Let's talk swords. Now, folks, I got a lot coming up because the people who are out know I have started my renovations on the Historical Fencing Guild, area. Now we are in the wonderful to hear, Trey. I'm glad. Seriously, support your local Chinese food place. They need it, and oh no, you might get some good pork war main. Oh, Peking fried rice, pork war main, ginger chicken, maybe throw the cashew chicken, and the best egg drop soup in the world. That stuff literally cures colds. I'm not a doctor. That's not a medical statement. But to the best of my knowledge, it's a fact. They have sorcery in there. So definitely go. And tell them the Talkert sent you. Anyway. I'm all over the place this week because I didn't do much prep. I literally was swimming around in shallow water with a full face snorkel mask, just being a fat manatee and happy, folks. So I kind of Gourmet House. I recently ate actually in at Gourmet House. Gourmet House is my second favorite, and if you're eating in, it's where you have to go. Great food. It's just like you have Peking for the best takeout you can get in the world, and Gourmet for the whole sit down. Love the dragons on the ceiling. Again, not bashing them. Yeah, so it looks like last week I said something about a costume contest, and with my birthday coming up, I normally have a Halloween party, but between the extreme heat and some of the paying attention to the COVID stuff, I have avoided that. So instead, I said do a costume contest. Yeah, they were. There were some problems. But the paper on the wall is handwritten on the door, and it says curb service only, call to order, and then call when you pick up. But a lot of people thought they were closed too. But yeah, so I'm really glad for that. If you're in that area, hit them up. And again, you can order if you can order game supplies for a price, like D&D stuff or Magic cards or big vinyl banks, or you can walk into a brick and mortar that's local and has a good person in it. Hit the brick and mortar. They need your business more than Amazon does. Now, if you're going to Amazon to buy games, please buy Big Stompy Robots or one of the other games I publish through there. Ba-doom cha! I'm getting my plugs in faster than a 6x power strip. But now that we're back rocking, we have to talk because I've been looking around and I'm having issue. I'm going to have to completely redo my glove rigging because the gloves I wore at practice, and I apologize for anyone who saw me not do terribly well. We've realized my sleeves bound up in the armor. I was wearing full padded armor in 90 some odd degree heat. That was dumb, but it happens. And the gloves bound up here. So I'm going to be in the market for new gloves that actually work with my braces. That is a work in progress. We will keep an eye out. Oh no. Eye out. Johnny Cage is reminding you that I am indeed not sponsored by Game Shady Stories. Although I'm really thinking of making Game Shady Stories, the world's most obnoxious video that interrupts all your videos, but somehow keeps YouTubers afloat, into a mockery shirt. There may be some work in the progress. I am plotting at some point this winter to have merch. However, the process I want to go through on one level is difficult. On another set, maybe much better, but I'm waiting for some dealings. A lot of my stuff got put on. I didn't get to try them. So I honestly don't know. But it's okay. I'll figure something out. Yeah, you all know me. I will be taking off my braces for the time being because while I'm not going to be doing too much load bearing, it is incredibly hot in here, and I had to wash my head wrap thing. It's a neck gaiter is what they're called, but I forgot to get it dry. I have no doubt Shay and Cy would help me with merchandising. I have some really neat irons on the fire on about 3 fronts, and I'm just right now I'm all about crossing my streams because I'm known in different circles for different things, and I'm trying to pull it all together in a way that benefits everybody. So that's what I'm about. Now, anybody knows I'm going to be making a relatively short Bilbo style, hopefully, weapon out of this chunk of plastic. I may make, let me see if I have some, donated from John Miner. See, I plug him, of Swakhammer Metals, who really needs, John, I can't remember if you have your business website yet or not. But if I'm going to make this, I may use this lovely HDPE that he gave me, which is actually, to give it to credit, this stuff is, I want to say, 1/4 inch thick, and it's actually more rigid than this 1/2 inch thick stuff that I bought. But I may make a very simple D-guard, dagger D-guard, short sword style, just to see how it handles, how it works in hand, and then just add some wrapping to secure it. I have invested in some polypropylene appropriate 2-part adhesives. So basically an epoxy type. Not yet. Too busy with a real paying job. Hey, I understand that, John. When do you retire, bud? Because start building the groundwork now so that when you retire, you can just skate into awesomeness. But as soon as you have it, I'm going to... Yeah, there are some great ways. I'm just exploring different materials because realistically, if you look at the way something like this is made, okay, this guy would be a perfect candidate for molded polypropylene, because you take this very complex dish guard off, and that's what gets people. Dishing stuff is a pain in the butt, but the cross section, which is just the T and the you got the ricasso, you have the quillions here. These are quillions. This is a knuckle duster or knuckle bow. This tiny guy's a pommel. It could use more pommel probably if it weighed anything else. But these are all very two-dimensional. That means this design, if the material were dense enough, could easily be laser cut out. The trick is sliding down a bell guard. Oh, pipe cleaners and straws with a little bit of spread adhesive make a pretty... you can also use either the proper way, which is to use something called a PVC bender, which is a spring that slides into the PVC and supports it on the inside, so that when you heat the section you want to bend it, it retains its shape. Or I've heard tell, I have not done this yet, it's on my to-do list, but you can actually just fill a PVC with sand and carefully, gently heat part of it and get your shape. I'm going to be playing with different plastics, HDPE, and I'm probably going to have a dedicated toaster oven for trying to soften plastics to shape them, outside. I have some really neat ideas once we're past, but like this weekend, we have 115 heat indexes out here. And this is the kind of heat that, especially for somebody in my situation, is dangerous. Have you considered using the smaller gauge PVC or even solid PVC? Point, John. Sand works, but cooling must include the sand too. Oh yeah, the smell is actually quite. Those are some nasty fumes. A lot of these plastics, if you're working with them, HDPE, etc., are very, very, very nasty. I'm considering when I go down to Menards next, getting a sheet of PVC of HDPE like this, and hitting up the Armor Archive and just trying to make perhaps a clamshell gauntlet. Good woman, keep yourself aerated. We don't want anybody to get sick. But take patterns and possibly make my version of the there used to be some very sexy Kydex clamshells out there. And I used to actually own, briefly, a set of fingered gaunts that were experimental by a gentleman named Gruber. He took them back to repair them, and I guess they got lost. It was many years ago. You're just going to get very wet. Oh, speaking of actions, I am planning to do a appearance. I will be doing an appearance in Oxford, Indiana, the weekend of the 11th. I'm believing it's Friday. 10th, 11th, and 12th. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Selling my books, selling some other things, running some games. It should be a good time. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I have a mild love affair for slightly curved weapons. They could be very flowy and fun. That's the Drizzt in me kicking in again. And I'm just PVC. Uh-oh. Okay. Anyhow, I'm sure it was the kinky remark. PVC can be very good. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me double check. Where did I? Oh yeah, no, I answered that. YouTube bumped me to top chat again, so I have to make sure that I didn't miss any commentary in the middle. No, we look good. Awesome. Sorry about that. Oh, slappy slaps. Not good. Oof. I want to thank Joe for putting up with this camera. This is the worst, and it is still open because I have to figure out how to get the files off and small enough to be able to distribute for the practice. Because people, Nick, where are the practice videos? Well, this little Chinese piece of love has some flaws. The benefit is it is waterproof to 10 feet, which is why I bought it. One of my other passions is shallow water, underwater photography, snorkeling and the like. But I also wanted one. I've actually had cameras die because we were filming for a practice and it rained, or actually the disgrace videos. Ugh. What disgrace videos? What are you talking about, Steve? Anyway, this tanked. So I can't close it because it takes my wife and I tools just to get this to pry open, because remember, I have microscopic hands. You see that little tiny ledge? Yeah. You have to hit that, pull this out with no resistance. I've had to use a knife blade to lever it. It's a nightmare. So, I don't know. I'm not. Oh, yeah. All our forms were crap. That's what happens the first practice, Steve. My other thing is I mimic the form of people I fight. It's one of my greatest flaws. And to work around that, I need to really, ironically, be more assertive of fighting my style, not mimicking who I'm fighting. And see, any teacher who's not learning while they're doing it is lying, or they're not teaching right. Okay, you need to be open to your flaws and work to get better. The only way to get better is knowing what you're doing right or wrong. Um, I'm really honored. Oh, and see, I'll tell you, Steve. I was thinking I was sloppy as heck too. I, tell not to, John. You typoed. Is it tell not teach, or I'm not sure what you're going for with that remark. So please rephrase. Um, ooh. But I'm gonna go through, see what I do everything wrong, so I can only improve. Hey, man, you sound like you're talking about one of your ex-wives. This description of you. But yeah, we're guys. There are many people who are better than me. There are many people who aren't. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh, John. Oh, Steve. I'm so sorry. I didn't feel any. You know what? I didn't feel any burrs when I inspected it. So they must have taken a burr while we were fighting. Well, we did a few blade to blades, and if they are the right softness, that can happen. That's the exact problem I had with the knife one. Ha! No, no, you both have had colorful pasts. No one's perfect, but we let me get this where I can do it. I'm doing exercises for my carpal tunnel. I'm supposed to do them in the evening. If I do them while I broadcast, it gives me a rhythm to work with. But we have to all work and build and get better. And I'm not ever, aside from the title of Swordmaster, which simply means in my vernacular, I'm qualified to teach somebody who doesn't know how to handle a sword how to handle a sword. I don't carry a lot of ego other than that because I've fought myself. I am very good at analyzing. I'm a very good analyst. These things happen. Okay. John lives in a kaleidoscope. But other than that, things are interesting, guys. I'm doing my fall prep. And part of my fall prep is I am slowly transitioning from getting in shape to get in shape to just getting in shape. Like I've said several times, I see myself finally as season 1 Iroh, and I want to get to be season 3 Iroh. I don't expect to be ripped. I don't expect to be excessively strong, but I want to be able to use this hammer to make knives and swords. So that means I have to get stronger. And it seems to me, if I'm planning on purposefully swinging this hammer, I should use this hammer to get back in shape. Yeah. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Colorful past. Yeah. Anyhow, and a lot more colors thanks to the wonders of dye. But one thing I need to know is what all formats do you guys like? What do you want as we transition into fall? More videos on. I love helping people, but I can't help them if I don't. Oh, that didn't get put away. Shoot. Oh, this is my dice bag. Isn't that awesome? This is my new dice bag. And yes, it's Molly compatible. It'd be a great foraging bag, but some stuff to get put away. Yeah, things are yeah. Things are colorful this week, guys. Now, there's some interesting videos going around, and I'd like to hear what people think if you've seen them. There's a whole lot of discussion on machete and machete defense videos. And there are Arma guys and Hema guys arguing and discussing these techniques. And it seems interesting. I don't like meat to metal blocks. Okay, even as a fencer, I'm not a big fan of the hand parry. I never have been. I never will be. Can I do it? Absolutely. Would I prefer to literally parry with any other object other than the squishy bits of Nick? Yeah. But I have seen some really interesting emergency defensive blocks that need to be discussed. And so I'm looking into that. Um, as what we're going to have as a heads up, we're going to phase into the cooler weather. Once we get the cooler weather, that means a lot more practices. I'm working on getting the ground leveled. I did not know it was that bad. A few other things. And we're going to update the grounds. So I'll do a before video of the current setup. I'll try to do it around dusk so you can see like the lighting that's going on and the lighting I'm going to be leaning towards. I'm looking for some options, and things could get really interesting. But because I think you guys would find that interesting. Once we hit winter, I plan to switch to more crafting videos and more shorter weapons training because we need to be able to fight indoors. That's going to go to things I love, like short axes and short swords and more true fencing-ish exchanges as we work on things. It may be offloaded because I'm planning to do some cleaning out of a storage unit for completely surprising reasons. And we're just, it's nebulous, but it's awesome. And, well, Steve, all you think is knives, okay? Steve is like the knife guy. You know why I don't call myself a knife guy, even though I talk about them almost every day with people? Because Steve Clausen is a knife guy. And I love you for it, Steve. Steve is all about, let's do short range knives. And I'm all about, can I have a short sword, please? No, till I grab one of his knives, and it is a short sword. I'm telling you, folks. For Mama Talker's firstborn son, it is not easy around all these giants. But that is okay. I don't mind being, just a hair shy. Well, why did... Yes. I'm willing to teach two-handed longsword at some point. Yeah, okay. John, you could... I do like throwing knives, and my throwing target needs to be rebuilt. I have used it to death, and as I get where I can, I'm going to do that. Although wood prices are nightmarish right now, so I'll be looking for creative means of altering that to keep it going for a while. You know me, folks. But yes, I enjoy throwing knives. I tend to favor... It's funny. I carry small knives. I like small knives as tools. Small knives are the best tools. I am looking into some new neck knives because there's one or two I like. Phone books. That's not a bad idea either. I may look into that. But like I said, I'm looking into alternate materials and alternate acquisitions for those. I miss archery, but it's just not safe where I live. I actually have range for short range archery, but with the windage, I'd be dubious. Likewise. I don't know what you're talking about, John. Anyway. And yeah, actually, this is a little top heavy. If I were making this, it would almost be at its widest this width. And yes, John knows I love it. John knows I love 13th Warrior. But it's basically, I have to, and that's one thing. Let's talk. You know what? I'm going to talk about something John has handed me. In Western martial arts, you get a lot of old heavies. And while I love it because I know John is joking right now. Okay. I know John is being playful and having a good time. There are a lot of people who will take shots at you folks if you use a weapon that is not their preference. And it's a sliding scale. Now, again, I'm not talking about John because while John is of the history to be an old heavy, he's way too much of a fencer to actually be an old heavy. He sort of plays one on TV. He's just a swordsman, so he can learn and respect that. Exactly. But pick what's scaled to you. And yes, I have people, this is a 2-pound, I believe it's 2-pound, it might be 2.5 pound. I can't remember. It's a beat up old. I got it on clearance at Home Depot when I was working there and wearing the orange professionally. But this is one of my solutions. I've had people literally laugh at me for owning a little short-handled sledge. I've had guys, that's not a hammer. Right. And John, your preferences are all scaled to your size, which is all what I tell people to do. It works for you, and it does give you an advantage. The problem you run into is, as was famously said, God created man, Colonel Colt made them equal. People of different size can't all use the same size, weight, balance melee weapons to the same effect. Oh, Steve, for you, this little dude would be a dreamboat. Honestly, this is a porta hammer. I have affectionately in certain circles called this my dwarven arrow. I won a throwing weapons contest once, not in the SCA. This was a tongue-in-cheek thing I encountered by blasting the target in half by heaving this at it one day. This is a beautiful tool for what it does. It does one thing, it does it extraordinarily well. It hammers. It hammers things. It doesn't overstrain me, especially if I let the weight do the work. This is very nice. This is an adjuster. I need a new hammer loop for it because it's a little short-handled for it would be happier probably with about twice as much handle, but yeah, John's saying longbow, favorite melee, it's starting 200 yards, and then exactly. And John's glaive is a long spear for me. His short glaive is a glaive for Amanda. They get along really well at that 7.5 foot point. I tend to favor. That's why John made my beloved short my boar spear, which is actually stacked from being used in a demo during practice. The short spear. Now, I do want to talk eventually about John's weapons because I do believe the weapons he made me are beautiful for demo purpose. In that I'm showing a technique, I'm showing how they go. With consideration, we've decided they're a little not quite suited in their current incarnation for combat because the blades there's some sharp elements and an interesting mix of flex and resistance. Not that there's anything wrong with them, it's just a matter of figuring it out. They are gorgeous, though, for demo, for explaining how to use a spear. A bit of a spoiler, I will be doing a very quick and dirty spear video in the near future. Basically, as soon as my hands are together enough, I'm going to do a spear video. I would love to get where I can get through my spiels fast enough to do like the YouTube short style intro to different weapon styles. That's something I want to work on this winter because it's something I should be able to do solo while we're still adjusting everything out and we're sorting. we'll just see how it goes. The other thing is, I am all about serving the community. I'm all about serving the Historical Fencing Guild and the martial arts community at large. The people, that's authors who want to write about sword fighting, artists. You know, I've actually had people message me, can you take a picture holding X weapon from this angle? And just, throw your shot. Boom. So, they got the equivalent of, I'm not going to swing that because it's a little heavier than I want to do. That's much heavier than I want to do. What I want to go with. They wanted a complete series of a sword strike from different angles. So I just did that. And I may do something like that as a pose reference book. I have some really neat ideas for some alternate content that are coming out. And the first thing I do is try to have you guys tell me what you want. It's like, Nick, you won't even tell people what you want for your birthday. I'm a hypocrite. I admit it freely. Anybody who's heard me talk you up during a, you should feel good about yourself, blah, 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 knows I'm a hypocrite. That's okay. But I'll only negative against myself. So I don't mind. You guys let me get away with it sometimes. But that's what we're about, guys. And with what's coming up, I think there's going to be a good chance to do more cross-cultural training. And that's what I love. The guild works best after all I do is, how do I want to put this? Physically vet people. And I don't mean like, oh, I'm profiling you. No. I talk to them, make sure they're a controllable dick, and then make sure that okay, I can get that. They know what they're talking about and they're safe. And if it's something I don't know what I'm doing, cool. I love to take people who are trained in styles dramatically different than what I do and have them talk to other people, and you get these cross commotions. Okay. That's good. I have my piece of paper here. It's got the rough draft for Bryn the Cap Fighter fight. That's from my campaign, but that's okay. Seated drills, sparring. Okay, I definitely can do some seated drills, and those will actually be easier to shoot because of the limitations of shooting indoors. So yeah, I can definitely. I need to do more scripted videos. I love Catgirls, Johnny Cage. I always have. I always will. I know what I'm about. I'm an ancient anime fan who still believes that anime peaked in the late earlys to mid 90s, late 90s, and it's Moe is a lot like salt. The right amount can make a dish incredible, but too much just makes it unpalatable. Anyhow, unless you're in the mood for like a really salty dish. I will tell you this, to the people who actually play, I would happily let make arrangements for you guys to spar in cosplay. That doesn't bother me. As long as it can be done safe and you are having fun, I'm all for it. So we'll see. Okay. John says, what woods battle, shortened sword, mace, axe, pork chops, and daggers. Yeah. Well, that's okay too. It takes a long time to break down a scene into passes, figure out how to choreograph it. Fight choreography is an art that parallels my study, but intersects it much less often than you think. Because I teach from a practical perspective. And that means if you're fighting the styles I teach you and you're doing it right, the styles I tend to uh, commend, it is it's not flourishy, it's not pretty, it's much more direct. You're either doing something or you're not. You're not wasting time. Um, whereas on film, a lot of it has to be showy. I talk about it a lot like picking pockets. If you are good at picking pockets or any kind of sleight of hand, John, that's not a short spear. It's 7 feet long. It's it's not a short spear. It's just a spear. Even for you, it's just a spear. I would say a short spear is I would be eyebrow height or less. So you just have a spear. You don't have a long spear. You're not rocking a pike like me. When I use the Amanda's old spear, as we got out a little bit, I have to rehead it. That's at 9 feet. It is a great spear and basically wing tongue long pole for me. The first costume I was told to show up in costume. I was one of only 3 people who did, and I tore my dag wall. I'm sorry. That's why I am not. Now, see that's a pike. That makes sense, and it's you're running into your personal versus colloquialism. But yeah, pike's a long spear, and 10.5 feet is actually pretty short for a pike. A lot of historical pikes, if you look into them, were right around that 14-foot line. Those were usually the you're going to bristle against horse cavalry, stationary mobile defense style pikes, where you're anchoring it by the side of your foot so that the force routes it into the ground, and you're basically a living matriculation. You're a living spike defense. But yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, Wing Chun Long Pole is perfect for spear, but you're way too non-linear. You're very much you'll go to open to the wind for the hell of it, and it's not fair, but it is beautiful to see. Ah, how tall are you again, John? 6'4"? I can't remember if you're 6'4" or 6'6". And see, that is one problem. I've associated with John Miner for 20 years. And 6'4"? That's what I thought. Because I don't think you're 6'6". Uh, he helped because you thesis. You're not the only one. It's actually very frequent that we have that SCA guys, especially, have spears with stuffies because it distracts the enemy. It's really hilarious. I love it. But they set my calibration for what a normal opponent looks like. Yeah, you have, John. You've been in the SCA for 32 years. I've known you for 20. About. Yeah, that's common. Oh, yeah. Distractionary things. I've seen foxtails. One associate of ours hung a fake foxtail from it so that you get a bit of tail on a poke. I've seen beavers. I've seen stuffed animals in the SCA, not actually historically. So yeah, 20 plus. Oh, actually, yeah, yeah. Because I'm trying to remember. Well, yeah, we went. Mandy and I's first date was to go to the Halloween. Well, the first time we went out together, and it wasn't a date, but we were together at a group function. Was the Halloween in Valpo held the haunted house held by the firefighters, and I asked her out on our first official date that night, which meant our first date was the week after Halloween. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the slammers and push buttons that go ow 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 on the end of spears is hilarious. And see, that's one thing. I'm not even surprised by that, Steve. And I have seen other organs on the end of spear tips. Let's see, and we're still live chat. But remember, we're still trying to keep this, even though this isn't for kids, I try to keep it PG around here, which is why I avoid some of the language and things, because I want it to be civil, you know. This is tongue in cheek, but still educational. Now, how tall are you, Steve? Because I'm trying to keep the balance in my head. But because a lot of people have it's funny, the people I know online have this image of me. I was talking 6'1". Okay, so you're all, John's only got about 3 inches on you. That's what I thought. And it's funny because when I think of guys, I count Steve as like average. God, I've been around a lot of big dudes. Somewhere between Steve and John is normal, and a big guy is somebody like, I don't know, Sabah. He's a big guy. Ogre, Magnus. Magnus is a big guy, and his twin brother. They're big dudes. He says, "Yeah, so you're my usual sparring rank." Now remember, folks, I clock in a mighty 5'7" on the short leg, 5'8" on the long leg. Yeah, see, John, you are very stout. You two, yeah, 6'5". He seems bigger though. He seems bigger than 6'5". He really does, huh? But then again, he tends to wear like hiking boots. Now, see, this is why I'm talking about it, guys. Okay, I'm gonna have this drink. I'm gonna do some math. Normally, your height is your wingspan. This, this to this, but I can't fit in camera where I am right now. Some of that may change with the remodel of my office that is coming. That being said, not having my little head thing is making. I am. We'll say 5'8". We'll say 5'8" because we're being generous, and my shoes are rather thick. Oh, I got a message. Let me make sure. This is an important message. Let me see. Ooh, okay. Hi, Cindy Kep. Cindy Kep is watching, but she's in lurker mode. So all the love in the world for Cindy Kep. That's www.ckoepp.com. Check out Animal Eye. And also check out Brian K. Morris of Rising Tide Publishing, Risingtide.pub. Awesome people. Anyway. Yeah, I've known people over 7 foot tall. They're great fun. The skinny basketball build is interesting, but my computer has okay. Before anyone makes fun of me of pulling out a calculator, I am dyslexic and dyscalculic, so I have to work things over. My wingspan, guys, is 34 inches. Okay? John at 6'4". Boink. That doesn't make sense. My calculator just is 38. Okay? That would be if, but John has abnormally long arms, much like Gray Boar. So he starts out, a comfortable sword for him is 4 inches longer than a comfortable sword for me. Okay, let's see. Oh, so, yes. Wow. Okay. There's some commentary in the chat, and turn it on if you guys want entertainment. Wow, that's the first hour. Yes, you see, John, that tells you that your wingspan is not proportional to your height. You have a 40-inch wingspan, which means you have 6 inches raw reach. That's why he can put his hand flat on my forehead, and I could do this and not hit him. But yes, I think the reason objectively that small women tend to marry very tall men is it's a matter of safety. I think they feel safer, and we live in a culture that basically the rules of being acceptable as a man in certain circles are that you have to be 6 foot tall. It's the combo tall, dark, and handsome, and you see that a lot. I am very happy. My wife is about 4 inches shorter than me. It gets different with shoe adjustments. But in my dating time, I dated everything from someone who was roughly 4 foot nothing to somebody who was 6'2". Height never really factored in, but I'm a very interesting individual anyway, so that happens. Uh oh yeah, John. Yeah. Yeah. My problem is I've seen your wives and girlfriends, so shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Especially the redhead you have. All the love in the world to Julie if she's listening in the background. If not, all the love in the world to Julie anyway. Hey, these things happen. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's right. And yes, Steve, I tell you, the second you say you are done, you will find the one. That's usually how it works, but you have to actually believe it. Oh, you're a good looking guy too. Guys, quit beating up on yourselves. I've seen your pictures. Yeah, see? So we are actually through the first hour of BS. So I'll take a minute I want to thank my Patreon members. All 9 of you? Wow. I have a whole list of 9 people who help me keep this channel going. And I am so grateful because I'll be honest, I could not afford to buy uh, things like this to see if they work for you, or trainers, or gear. I simply could not afford to do it. Without the assistance of you guys. I couldn't have afforded the computer I use to run this channel now. It is even $1 a month, while very minimal to you guys, and several people do much more than that. It's enough. I can compile that, and I can keep going, because right now I am the busiest stay-at-home dad in the world. I stay home to take care of my special needs son. I cannot work out at the home because he needs me here. So I am an author. I'm a game designer, sir. I hustle and I shuck. And have you added more levels yet? No, I haven't. Um, I'm post. I'm actually mid vacation right now. In that I took yesterday off, and I think Monday Mandy goes back. So I'm kind of stepping back and to recharge. I actually need to a bit, and then I'm planning a lot of things. I'm going to be readjusting my Patreon. I want to get on the writing. I've had to delay my stuff because my partner Luke Stone came down with COVID, the Delta variant, and he's still in the hospital. So if prayers or mojo are your thing, please do that. But his family asked me not to talk about it, so for a long time I didn't. But I'm not sure. I'm going to put a thing on the existing Patreon, and probably, I don't know, maybe on the Facebook group, what you guys want out of it. So we will see. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's the money helps so much, but just knowing somebody actually gives a damn about what I do and helping people and empowering people. Yes, Luke. It hasn't come out much, but because for a long time the family didn't want him bothering, but he is slowly recovering. Luke Stone contracted COVID and went to the ER partially at my uh, bothering. I hounded the poor man, and he was very very life threateningly ill. He was nearly intubated, and he is recovering slowly. So please don't don't hound his family for updates and information. As he gets better, he'll give them out. But pray for him if that's your thing. He's gone through a whole lot. I need to know what people, Steve's saying I need to add higher levels. I need to know what you guys would feel. What are you looking for out of me? Because so much of what I do, I pour into the free services to try and help people. Hey, that's good thoughts and give space is real wonderful. If you're looking for game stuff with all the hospital bills, it probably wouldn't be a bad time to consider some of Luke Stone's projects and hybrids and all that. But yes, I haven't weighed myself in a while. That's being put off while I deal with some stuff. But yeah, you are tiny. Thesis, I am still twice the man you are weight wise, and I'm 5'8". I am a roly poly hobbit. But don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. But yeah, Luke is recovering. He's doing better. I didn't talk about it till someone else blabbed. So yeah, John, I'm kind of not expecting much out of you corporate sponsor wise because you don't have much corporate wise yet. Now, once Swakhammer Metals gets rolling, then don't again increase donations would be great. Any products you want me to review, but I really would prefer, as much as I love the bespoke gear that you sent, because it is gorgeous. Those two spears especially. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on the production models of things you're planning, because John's planning some amazing stuff. We've talked. So that I can review them for the people, both, to give you input and a bit of advertising. Because you help me, a lot of people help me in ways that are a little subtle, and that's really appreciated. But I also remember, if you want to help, whoop, oh wow, I just bungled that, folks. That includes plugs for others. Okay. Hit me up with what you want to see done, Steve. I'll do it. If you want, always consider buying these books. These are helping me. My sales on this greatly outdo this, so I will be doing more small, focused, light format books over the course of winter. I had some delays, and we're going to work on that. But I also want to know, and that's what the best thing a lot of you could do is tell me what you find isn't there. Do like the Fighting Axe found a niche? I am looking for Nick's niche. Yee! Alliteration. But so what styles do you want quick and dirty guides to? I am working on the Poor Sword Master's guides to arms and armoring. Blah 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 blah. The Poor Sword Master's Guide to Can I Speak to English? But that's coming up, and I have some game-related stuff, because apparently some folks really enjoyed the fact that an old GM, DM, and game runner like me, who actually knows when I say, well, that sword wouldn't work that way, because I've used the sword to work that way. The corner gnome. I'm something. But so yes, there may be a delay in the core rule book to this coming out. I think I can say that now. Luke Stone and I are still planning something really dramatic, and I want to make sure. But and Pixies and Elven Women, Are you talking about art, or are you talking about what you want to see in practice, or are you just listing off attractive things to distract me? I know Johnny shared that thing. I want to roll to chop that thick tree with my rapier to to commiserate, but it hurts. Knife book. See, I can work on that. And I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm way down on weight. I'm doing moderate physical therapy every day. And with some of the stuff that's coming up, I'm hoping to greatly change my housing situation. Not leaving it. I am not moving again. Um, but improving my setting both for my needs and for those of the guild as things rattle down. Again, stuff I can't necessarily talk about, but are very important and very like I'm still in shock situationally. I may be someone who insert a future to make a special weapon in the future. I will give the build first dibs on a small bit of money. Um Steve says so you say. Oh. Thesis, by all means, if you're looking to commission something special, tell me what you're looking for, and I will not only tell you who I know who's best to do it, I will give you as many options as possible. Because they're guild people, and I also heavily recommend my boys at Purple Heart. Yes, you will find an affiliate link that they track, or they supposedly do, but if they're a good match, I'll tell you. If you want something more elaborate, Johnny, I am torn because part of me is aching because Johnny's making the joke about using rapiers for lumber, and like my Germanic heritage, like Herr Talkert is screaming, and the short sword goes choppity choppity saw back choppity, you know. Um, but yeah, we could definitely work some things out. And that's what I'm about. I'm helping people make connections with other people who can do things. That's what the guild is. This is why it's the Historical Fencing Guild, not Nick's School of Swordplay, because my way is the only way. Come off it. I'm going to try to help folks find what they need. And yes, I'm going. Next time, shall I say my homework for next week is to try to make something new? No, Steve, do not. Do not. Abort. Abort. Steve, this is a Code Lavon situation, okay? Please don't. Just don't. Okay? I'm going to get in trouble for that joke. Or I won't. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I got handed a black hat, and sometimes, God help me, I can't help but wear it. Still, who knows? There might be chance for a bizarre miracle. I highly doubt it. But squeeze, squeeze. The send me a detailed picture, and I will give you the best route where to go. Johnny is hurting me like last night, not Wednesday night. Johnny, you cut me to my soul saying that. Although that being said, Rurouni Kenshin is one of the best animes out there. I truly enjoyed it, at least up until the Edo arc. But let's just say Batusai the Slasher is not an unfamiliar concept around these parts, and we'll leave it there. Also, Trelane, if you're in Michigan City, they have a whole bunch of Gundam figures on clearance at Game Changers in Michigan City next to Stream and Field, right off of 421. I almost bought the Tall Geese 2, but it was Tall Geese 2. If it had been the Tall Geese 3, I would have had to buy it. Yes, there are several. Yes. It was in the offing of what I could have gotten for my birthday, but finances and the fact that there was a limited edition wash from Firefly. Yeah, you know what? I have no problem with that. Off topic, Trelane is talking about Death Scythe as the OG, which he is. I have no problem with Death Scythe. Death Scythe is a gorgeous unit, but it's not my style. I gotta be true to myself, and I will always have this heart for Tall Geese 3, because Tall Geese 3 is what Gundam, like main Gundam Wing on up, would have been if it hadn't smoked anime crack. It just, like, if you want a Gundam that works, go Tall Geese 3. And it's the only Gundam, quote unquote, that survived the destruction of all the others at the end of Endless Waltz. Thus it wins. Followed closely by my mobile workers. I love them. I know I shouldn't, but they're awesome. And yeah. Hey, Troa! Ammo's cheap. Your life isn't. I know that fighting style. Troa's in that suit. Yes, he's standing out in the open and leaving a hail of bullets that's hitting nothing. Nothing, sir. I say good day. Obscure Gundam references. It's nearly my birthday. I can do that. And besides, beam sabers are sabers. They're swords. Oh, yeah, I made it fit. Okay, now. Oh, Ogre, Bad Tall Goose. Yes, that's awesome. See, if Katra wasn't so freaking creepy, that dude messes with me. Like, I love Hero's little sociopathicness. I can let that fly. But Katra's like Katra-ness. Just, yeah. We love you, Master Katra. No, go away. Creepy blonde-haired little boy. And with all that, you justify SAO 2. You just witnessed Nick.exe crashing because Steve said SAO 2. I enjoyed the first arc of SAO greatly. It was a lot of fun. The second arc was pervy and kind of weird. And I really like elves, but there were some problems there. But okay. Why am I freaking out? Sword Art Online, he's talking about the Gun Gale arc, where Kirito, as a girl for reasons, is sent in and predicts the prediction lines. It's called aiming. It's going, I have a projectile. I have a target, a projectile weapon. If I line my projectile weapon with the target and lead it to factor that it's moving, the projectile will be at the place where the target is. It's called aiming. It is not a superpower. It is not a game. That being said, Sinan's online has certain qualities, and I do have a Sinon figure because I got it really cheap at Arcticon because they didn't think I'd have the nerve to buy it. And she sits next to Domo-kun and a bunch of other strange things on my wall of cool. But yes, Yes, the idea. He's talking about the one with the guns. It just no, just my heart. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Unless you're firing a shot so far that you need to adjust for the curvature of the Earth, it ain't a superpower. It's aiming. Now I'm nearsighted as heck, so sorry. Okay, going down the line of the comments real fast. Steve has broken me. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Okay, Steve needs an inhaler. Glad you had a laugh. Ogre's right. Justin. Maybe if I shoot Johnny. I'm planning something really cool for you in the very near future. Don't shoot. No. Be nice to rapiers. That being said, and I don't know if it's the correct numbering of SAO, but it did turn SAO from the Credo show to Silence Online. Okay. Deep breath and swords. Yes, deep breath and swords. What I need from you, John, on the front of Trelena is somebody needs to dish a plastic tortoise shell style buckler, approximately 18 inches long and about 12 inches wide in an oval, dished on completion. If you want good SAO, look up SAO Abridged. It is not as funny as Ultimate Helsing Abridged, but it's still hilarious. Oh, I know. I almost didn't tell them about it too. I let them sit talking for a while to not tell them about the thing. So I even made the players a plastic, please. That's what she needs. I think Trey, check the measurements. John, DM Trey to make sure that was my eyeball measurement. It may have been a little short. The support beam runs vertical on the long axis. And yes, and if you can make one, plan on making at least two, because Lord knows I want one. Yeah. That being said, like I said, the sign-on character was more entertaining to me than Kirito and company for a long time. Oh, don't. Okay. The SAO part is about an anime called Sword Art Online, which had a prominent sword fighter. It was okay. I am so not surprised by that, Ogre. And Heathcliff was a great character, if that's who you mean. No, Steve. No. 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 I haven't seen that thing in like 3 years, and I can still pull the measurement. So how deep is it? How deep is it from the base of the loop? And to answer without it being too public, relatively, John. Remember, this is still public forum, so be careful with location information. Just me being protective of everybody involved. I still have a couple people who would kill me and sacrifice me to the local demonic group if they ever got a hold of me, but that's okay too. That's a story for another time. And y'all think I'm joking. Anyhow, and then Trey just solves that. So never mind. But God, you try to be protective, you try to help. What does it get you? Nada. No, you don't understand, Johnny. Steve, whom I love, is the kind of player who, that's what I thought, about 3. Hey, look at this, about 3 inches deep. Cool. I've been chasing, that's on the list of things I've been chasing for a while on that buckler, because that's just. Oh, thank you. Thank you, John. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. I'm much more proactive than I used to be. Long ways in the back. What Trelane is referring to is her custom buckler. I do not know the story, or more aptly, due to the memory loss from oxygen deprivation and some of the shadiness, I have lost the story of how she came across this beautiful buckler. But it is a tortoise shell, so it is take like a metal salad bowl and extend it to 18 by 12 and run a vertical stick. Oh my gosh, this thing is so distinctive. And that's how I know Trelana is a main character. She often has unusual hair color. She has piercings, mojo, and she fights with a distinctive weapon and a visually distinctive style. Trelana is quietly one of the most main character. No, Steve! Main character people I've ever known. And again, if you're watching this and you don't turn on the live chat as it scrolls, I am not schizophrenic. I just have bizarre friends. But fortunately, Steve, they are all operating 1,000 years before in timeline your whole bend of the universe. But I'm not asking. Please don't. Please don't. It starts with anything you think is bad, and it just gets worse. It is. Please don't. Trelana says, no, main characters have a terrible arcs of feels. Pause. Trelana, you and I both know your assorted histories. You are, and you've just been a main character long enough that you've endured your arcs of feels. And you're in that hard-earned, happily ending, my favorite track name of a song because it makes me laugh. The end of the original Vampire Hunter D parting. Da 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 da. And I go no farther so I don't drop any things. But yes, we have Cindy, and Cindy is making. Oh fuck! I'm telling you, I know my people, and if there's one thing my people is, all you is all you are is. All you is just Anyhow, dust in the wall, brick in the wall, dust on the wind. What are you? We don't know, but you're all very much main characters. I don't bump into many NPCs. They don't tend to tolerate my lifestyle. People who are bland. I always tell people, dress like a main character if you're living life. Right now, I am dressed like a custom character, and it is horrific and glorious because I'm wearing my comfy indoor pants, so they are black and white checkerboard shorts. Not pants. I will not stand up to show them because my legs are pale enough that I will overpower the camera, and yeah, something like that. I can't tell, but y'all are important. And I am a fleeting visage of insanity going point to point that may or may not have a name. Oh no, Thesis. I am not a voice in your head because I am way too disciplined. So, at any given point, yes. You see, as I it's ironic. I'm going to talk clothes for a second. A lot of people, Nick, you understand the tactics of Gray Man. Absolutely. Blend in, don't stand in, tactical advantage, yada, yada, yada. And it has its place. My problem is I walk with a cane. I am greatly impaired anyway. So I have to pay attention. So that doesn't help. No. I am not angling for no. But yes. One and I think hers is either 3/4 or 7/8. But yeah, Steve, you want to know how Steve dresses 90% of the time? Either he dresses like he's coming out of a death metal concert that has a font that you cannot read, or it's corporate muscle. Okay? Steve dresses like Elliot Spencer should be punching him. That being said, we are in a world right now where, especially since like started getting really bad 2018, 2019, it went downhill through 2020. So I vowed to wear it as for you guys, because people see my shirts. They see me out in these goofy Hawaii and they laugh. Maybe it's clown like, maybe it's maybe it's not professional, but they smile. They smile when they see me in my big floppy hat and stuff. Gothic Bold Metallic. Yeah, you know what? I tell people, and actually I was asked by Shay. Shay? Yeah. Bryn, who is what are my colors? I usually go brown and safety orange, but I dress either like a toad. Dark, mellow brown colors, greens, not much greens, usually browns and grays. Like if Giles and a toad had similar art, if tweed were a color, that's what I'd wear. Or I dress like a poison dart frog, where it's like gray, black, Hawaiian, day glow, fluorescent. Let's run some LED. Back in the day, it would have been run some LEDs in this. I used to be like the amazing fluorescent dingo over here. So it goes, and there's nothing wrong with the total hippie thing. I want dress to be you, not what the world tells you. I do somewhere. I have since outgrown it in the middle quite a bit, complete with elbow pads. I am a former librarian, a former instructor, and hey, blood red is a color, crimson is a color. Gosh. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, if I had my druthers most of the time, I would either dress like a mix of an English professor or a lost raver. If you're talking about red on your clothing, you got red on you. It happens. John says, I either wear corporate or something to blend in and disappear. Says the guy who flies his colors on his motorcycle or wears garb. Nice try, John. Well, yeah, you have to have your black, your day black, your night black, your dark gray black, your gradient black that goes from black to blacker black, your matte black to gloss black. You know, yeah. See, that's exactly. I do think my new fencing coat looks pretty damn bitchin' though. Pardon my French, but let's be honest. Yeah, all of them. All of them. You know, several of the women I know at their happiest dress like they are fans of Blackmore's Night. I don't. I'm not bashing black. I am not bashing black. I'm just not. Uh, anything stark and intimidating doesn't usually work on me because I'm not intimidating. Although formally, I look dang good in a black button up with a yellow tie. I looked good at Trey's wedding. Like my hat, that I look good. But probably, if not, they should be. Now, I love me some Blackmore's Night when I'm in the right mood. Sliding scale, you got Evanescence, you got Nightwish, you got Blackmore's Night. Then you go a little classic with some Stevie Nicks. I have this thing about rocker women who can sing some awesomeness. I'm all about that. I've watched Steve Squires cross-wreck. I'm like, Steve, what? No. Why? What? No. She looks like she's going to ruin your life. No, please, no more future Mrs. Clausens, please. Please, I've watched what you do to women. Anyway, I know your colors are black and silver, John, and you look good. And there's nothing stopping you. I don't dye my hair because, well, I'm not sure about my hair as a concept. It is leaving fairly rapidly, and it's dyeing itself this nice kind of steel gray. I have a haircut coming. It will be remarkable how little brown is left. Yeah. Oh, I've gone to lots of places. I've gone to SCA events where not only was I better dressed, but I had a better day camp than the king, and he got kind of mad at me, largely because I was sitting in my camp chair like a throne. I was a stinker. I was a stinker. I still am a stinker. I'm just more honest about it now. Yeah, John, remember she has tiny hands like me. She's an elf. She's somewhere between a halfling and an elf. She's too pretty to be a gnome, unlike me, who, the nose knows. But oh shoot. Everyone and that used to be it. Oh, I know why my hair's doing this. Never mind. Okay, the same size as mine. I could do hand measurements for folks who need it. You just haven't found the right one, Ogre. They exist. I can tell you clean up nice. I've seen pictures of you. He looks good in garb-like stuff and Asian garb. I think that's the best way to put it. Terms have changed, and I try to keep up with them. If I'm ever behind, it's not derogatory. It's old. Please politely correct me. I also judge people by tone of voice, so sometimes I mispronoun people. It isn't a shot. It's That's awesome. I am fully aware of that, Steve. But yeah, guys, don't be. Oh, hi. I had to tell Steve something, and I hope you're braced. If you follow Red Valkyrie Presents, you will find out the live steel version of the Hello Karambit exists. And it is beautiful, and it's terrifying. So, yeah. Y'all been warned. Yeah, we're not getting much valuable done today, but it's what it is gorgeous. If you want to see now, it is adult. There is swearing, there's some inappropriate humor, there is a lot of gratuitous violence. Oh, Sam Spade disease. No. You don't understand. Like, if I had the money to dress like I could, and the build, because like it's hard, it's shocking. But as a dude with a dad bod, there are a few fashions that actually rock this right. I can't look long and lean. If I try to look long and lean like most guys, the long trench coat looks badass, etc. It doesn't work for me because I'm a fat guy. And yes, happy is very valuable. I rock the hobbitdom. I'm down with the hobbit life. But oh god. You know what's nice though? With the hairline change, my horns when I fix them are gonna fit so much better. I may have worn that out wearing the horns, come to think of it. Anyway, yeah. I alternate between hobbitdom, gnomishdom, and satyrdom. Satyr, contrary to popular belief. Awesome, Johnny. Awesome. Heck, get yourself one of these trainers. You can get these for like right around $5 on Amazon. I want to say Wu Jiao is putting them out now. It's got the Jiao Wu. I'm sorry. dyslexia gets worse with certain types of character-based dialects. But yeah, these guys, this is what the Hello Karambit was born out of. Steve gave me this one. And yeah, don't know. Sure. But Steve, warn, they're props. I'm not actually a cryptid. You know that. You know what? I've been Harry Dresden for Halloween, and back in the day, you could hit the Goodwills or Salvation Armies and find a trench coat. Non-black trench coats actually tend to be relatively cheap. Oh, ogre, ogre. You don't even know. You are let me admit, you are among your people, sir. Always look at the thrift shops. If you're looking for something, always start there. Because if you don't find it, you're not out anything. But if you do, you're ahead, and you might find something you're not looking for. My problem is we have a lot of college people in this area, so finding good thrift is hard. And sometimes both. Sometimes you don't find what you're looking for, but you find something awesome, so it's a win-win-win. And always check the pockets. But yeah. Let me just say this, Ogre. Before I retired from preternatural consultation, I had a lot of the proverbial and literal knocks on the doors. Yeah, and you can always dye it or just wear blue. Harry wouldn't mind. That's what Harry would do. Anybody gives you flack, whack them with your staff. Whack. And remember, the TV Dresden used a hockey stick. I think it was the TV Dresden. Hockey stick makes a surprisingly effective staff if you're in the need. Staves make surprisingly staves. And when you find a stick that's not all places, because it flies off the shelf and literally hits you upside the head, thanks to a gust of wind in the middle of the store, you probably should buy that. That's usually the universe giving you a sign that you need to make something out of it. In my case, it wasn't for me, but it was a good stick. And there's nothing like a good stick. Ba-doom cha, take that as you will. But yeah, this is because I'm just off kilter today, and I appreciate you guys putting up with my silliness because I am definitely in some semblance of a mood. Yes. What else is coming up? I'm trying to decide. Did I switch mics? Hold on. I shouldn't have. Let me see. How's that? That is the other mic. This is my head mic. It should be, but unless is it turned off? No, it's not turned off. Anyhow, Tech hates me, but I was reading Harry till I liked Harry Dresden. Headphone mic is not miking. Okay, better. Okay, it must have come loose. Okay, well, as long as you guys can hear me, I'll they're better. Hold on, let me try it this way again. Oh, I heard it pop. Now hold on. My there we go. Maybe. Anyhow, John sent me something on the phone. Let me see what John sent me on the phone. I have to run my phone separate. Thank you. Just the tech gremlins. That's a good look for you, John. Obviously. As long as you can hear me, we'll fiddle with it later. I don't know why it's being gigantic. Actually, I know why, because it's about 95 degrees in here with the AC and everything. We just got hammered with the heat. And there's nothing I can do about it, so we'll keep it running. I don't know why things are being so argumentative, though. Whew. Let's see, what else is coming up? There is a new the Witcher is being branched. Yeah, you're not wrong. God, you're not wrong. I am a walking hexus, Ogre. I am an absolute walking hexus, and I know it. It's actually been proven. Um, Newer tech is getting better again about being shielded. Oh, hold on. John wants a picture of him in his skirt. So there's a picture of John in his skirt at a ceremony. So yes, there we go. I'm poking fun. There's nothing wrong with the kilt. And I know I'm gonna get some hate in the delayed chat. That's fine. I'm okay with that too. But oh yeah, I magnetize watches. My grandpa did too. It's a thing. Especially if I've been around electricity, like working with batteries or stuff. That is a kilt. Like I said, I was making a joke. I would only make a joke like that because I know John, and he cleans up very well. This is why I have the tech position. Yep. Steve does tech. I don't. Tech hates me. But I use it anyway for your benefit. Now, whew. Sorry, my sinuses are being bad. Yeah, yeah. During the bad old days at campus, I got ticked off and two printers caught fire. Yay! As long as you don't wear it regimental, Steve. Yeah. There was a long time ago where I made an arrangement with my wife. I would wear the leggings for a medieval garb / tights, but I'm not wearing a kilt. Before anybody else, no, it's not cultural. It's actually, it was many years before I could wear shorts except to swim because I had a small number of yellow jackets as a youth go up my shorts once, and the resulting agony made me very uncomfortable with the concept of shorts for a long time. It's a tactical decision. But the magic, yeah. Y'all are getting things to give me the heebly jeeblies this week. It's kind of funny. And let me check. I have one more comment. Oh, I have multiple comments. Okay, let me see. People DMing me. I'm sorry. How do you think I was living it? 7-year-old kid getting visited by about 4 or 5 yellow jackets in places no one should enjoy it. Oh yeah, I consistently, regularly fry things. You'll notice I don't wear a wristwatch. My pocket watches are usually okay for a while, but especially with my adjustments now, I don't. Yeah, between the braces and stuff, watches don't work real happy with me, and it's like wedding rings. I've actually yes, okay. No, yes, I am married. Yes, I'm still married. Yes, I am happily married. I am forbidden by logic and dictation to wear a wedding ring because the last time my wife caught me with my ring finger extended on an anvil, re-rounding the wedding ring that had been squashed onto my finger. It was decreed I am not to wear rings of any sort because my hands are too hard on things. I get you. Nothing wrong with the cheapo. Enemy of the State taught me that. Anyhow, Enemy of the State? I think that, whatever that Will Smith movie was. Gene Hackman, Will Smith. Yeah, well, Steve, you're a Viking. I live in fear of the day that Steve loses an eye and gets a raven. But, now, let's see. What else? Next, I did, to the people who've asked, yes. Gold gets squashed and I actually absorb silver. If I wear silver, it corrodes and then is absorbed into my hand. Steve, is that the raven I'm thinking of? Anyway, thank you. Someone else who knows. There it is. Bum 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 ba-dum bum. Is it true what they don't wear beneath those kilt? Do, 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 do. Now that song is stuck in my head because of, I think, Mark Gunn's version. The Mark Gunn podcast. Wonderful if you could find them. And hello 24. Oh yeah, hi 24. I only sword experience I have is Marine Corps, and that's just formal stuff if parades or not. Wish they had taught us something though. Technically, we were not authorized to have combat. Okay, that's okay. Yes, the people who know my circle, it's wonderful. It's so nice when you meet people who know the music you listen to, especially when it's a little obscure. 24. I'm going to call you 24 for that. Story of old, yes. You can find old Marine sword fighting manuals if you want to keep in tradition with your system. I totally respect that. Many of my favorite people in the universe are Marines. Marines are awesome. Also, 8 viewers, 7 likes. Somebody hit the like button, please. But if you want saber combat, I can recommend a few books, and I get into it a little bit. The Strong Sword, which is in the works, will be better for that, in that it's more concussive. But I can recommend some books to you. God, the Patton Saber Guide is a wonderful book for that. He talks about saber in his book. A couple of the 1886 manuals. The Brits have some good manuals. Shoot. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. I can't breathe right now. Thank you for the like, guys. I went to Michigan City, which is where I grew up, and the air is not as clean there as where I live, so I'm always a little sick if I spend the day up there. It's just the trade-off. But yeah, be sure to look that up, and if you want, hit me what styles you're looking for, and if it's not already covered in the Simple Sword, which at least an introduction is, I'll put it on my to write list. Yeah, John, the Strong Sword is going. Thank you. Now, thank you for however you guys did that. The Strong Sword, because it's such a thick volume, has been slightly derailed because some people are bugging me. They like the format of the Fighting Axe, which is a narrower, smaller. No, internet issues happen. People have problems. Some people have multiple accounts. We don't know, but I appreciate it. I'm just trying to find a lot of algorithms to make things roll. And if I offend people, I'm sorry, but I'm also okay with that. I'm not going to change my truth simply because it's uncomfortable. that would be disingenuous, and I try not to be disingenuous. Okay, Ogre, yeah, we're very. You don't a lot of times you don't even have to get the high norm. You'll get handed a root beer and we'll rock and roll. Chocolate chip cookies are great. But I know I want to do an intro to Spear. I want to do an intro to Staff Book, the Strong Sword. Basically, my whole format might be shifting based on my sales algorithms. I look through and I track my sales and what people want, what works, and then I may just take the concepts that I've been doing, like the fighting axe and all these, and then do a omnibus later. A lot of it's what people want. And right now, people want lower cost, short, quick reads to get very weapon style specific. So I am not a karambit guy. If I studied and became a karambit guy, I would do the concealed karambit, the killer karambit, something like that, and roll. But other than that, I'm sorry that the sparrows are getting window suicidal. Well, that was before I was diabetic, so now I have to do Diet Stewart's orange and cream, and then the cookies are a select sliding thing. Random comment is random. Yay! We love random. Oh no, not at all. They are what I consider a progression. A staff can. When I train staff, I train either what would be considered Joe staff, which is a 3 to 4 foot staff, and that's all my one-handed weapons and some two-handed weapons. When I train, you can never use the karambit without the sounds again. Oh, the I didn't realize I went kung fu with the karambit, but I'm okay with that. What? Anyhow, but for the easiest way is staff spear tends to be incredibly linear. Spear strikes most often like a very large rapier. You have disengages, you have the same kind of targeting pattern. Wing Chun long pole for that style of long spear. Staff is shorter, and the strikes of a staff. Let me see. I need something short enough to show. Let me see what toys I. Okay, I want something straight. I know what I need. So, straightish and short enough to show. I got one of these. Okay, now all my staves are just out of reach. Oh, I see the perfect demo thing. Come here. Can I get you to come here? Am I using a katana trainer to grab a stick trainer? Absolutely, I am. Anyhow, I love this guy. This little thing, I had the chain link rope. Somebody liked it so much that I know they asked for it. They thought it was cool, so I just gave it to them. Now, solo practitioner. Coming soon to a Neato book, solo practitioner. Oh, I looked up. Okay. Never. Oh, he was all right, Cindy. He was a mild bonk and went right back to the tree. Okay, cool. Spear. Whoop. If I'm holding this as a spear, just pretend it has, extension. Is going to be very thrust oriented. Let me get. You're going to lose here. Okay. We're going to do it this way. I need a little more room, and I'm tired of it. You've got two-handed thrust, sliding thrust. We're going to keep it simple, and I'm doing it away from stuff. Thrust, thrust. Now, with the spear, you usually want like most great weapons, two-handed weapons, you want your dominant hand in back as the guide, because this is what's going to let you do C disengages, or cavaciones for your Spanish types. This is how you're going to bypass attack guards and come in. there are two basic styles of strike. What I consider a bayonet strike, hold, thrust. And then you have what I call pull cue strike. Pull cue strike, with the spear slides through. You can clack it. Basically, this is how you're going to get that wrap on somebody's knuckles who's using another spear. And I'm going to get to that. Because a spear is designed to be a straight pointy bit at the end. So you're primarily using the pointy bit at the end. Now, John's jumping ahead as he always does. Now, if I go staff with this, assuming that this is projected half this length both ways to this full length both ways, you're going to go strike, butt strike, strike, strike. Now, I'm flattening it to fit on camera. The angles should be much more close to this 90 degree where you sweep the floor, sweep the floor, sweep the floor. If you sweep with a broom in an arcing motion, that's going to train both your low strikes and your high strikes. Okay, that's a lot. Yes, just bam. Now, when you are throwing a strike with a staff especially, it's not passive. It's not as rigid. Your guide hand, you'll notice when I go to throw a strike, I believe I picked this up from John. You're not, no, my hair, I'm sorry. My hair is always this curly. It's why it's normally shielded. I'll actually be getting a buzz in the very near future because it's incredibly hot. It does this. If you want to see the static that is Nick, this is the static that is Nick. This is actually pretty straight. Sometimes it's so curly it looks shorter. That's okay. Wham. Now, what you want to try when you're using a staff strike, remember edge alignment isn't a thing. It's different with the bayonet or an axe where you have to track the edge. With the club, okay, thank you. As you extend, this is important. Watch my hand location. I'm going to put my thumb. I would be gripping it, but I want you to watch where my thumb is so you can see the motion, and I'm exaggerating it. Do you see the rotation? It's the difference between flat slapping and getting that whip crap slap. Steve, one, I retired from active work, and two, if I worked for the warehouse, it wouldn't let me retire. But wham! That's as you're pulling back, this is going to add more momentum and make that crisp snap. Down, you do a little less, but you actually can rotate up top. Look, the rotation aspect is still there. You're working with your body's mechanics. Now, when you start fighting staff long enough, you realize a staff is all styles. A stick is all styles. So it's something you start with, and then you revisit once you've learned a bunch of other styles and you understand it better. Ogre, I have fooled you so much. I am not shy because I'm over the internet in a controlled setting. I'm not worried about interrupting anybody. This is me focused as an extroverted introvert. If given my druthers, if I weren't being of service to people watching in Gaul, do I need shave? I would totally be very much more contained. But this is I turn on the camera, I turn on the personality. So you're going to strike, back strike, strike, back strike. This is very fluid, good stuff. Okay? But as you can see, I just turned that from a staff into an axe strike. Code switch for days. Reverse grip, thrust. The more styles you learn, the more a rod, don't be perverse, but rod-based fighting style becomes more agile because it becomes everything. One hand, look, it's a rapier thrust. Pop. I can still stab you with a blunt weapon and have it hurt. That's part of the power of what we do and what we have. So I have this problem with defining how I want to write a book when it comes to stick styles. because for me, it is a very circular. It is the basic beginning. Okay, we're going to teach you how to use a sword. We're going to start with a safe stick, and you're going to learn your sword strikes. A lot of people learn their figure eight. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm getting dyslexic on the numbers because I'm watching myself and I was flipping it. But 5 is from the draw. So set it at your hip, cut up. 45. 5, 6, 7, 8. And you'll notice I'm doing this one-handed. I have room to instantly make it two-handed. Master Ken probably does have the best stick fighting instructor. I tend to like, if I am not fighting a rapier gripped weapon, I tend to favor a slightly shorter sword. Again, look at this blade length, seeing real familiar, with an extended pommel, Hilton pommel. 1, sweeping pommel parries are a habit of mine. And 2, because I have weakness, I like to be able to go from a one-handed weapon that fits to having an anchor point hand. Now, that may mean I have to switch to make it how it's quote-unquote supposed to go. But, draw, grab the pommel, pull it up. Hey, look, I'm online. Oh, katana. Oh, look, Boken to the head. Ken, do you hear what I'm talking about? Yes, Kenny, it's Vic Romana and Kenny Blankenship coming at you live. But go back to the headset because I don't want side commentary to come drifting through and get me in trouble. Let me know if you still have ow. Sorry. Let me know if you still have audio. Yeah, well, that's the problem. With boffers often, one, a boffer isn't a sword. And the old school pool noodle on PVC boffers, they don't handle like a sword. There's a lot of difference to it. Two, okay, good. A lot of people will jump to I can train. I learned to train because I worked with people who other people didn't want to train, so it sort of became a thing. And I learned and I improved as an instructor to where I can find what works with people, what doesn't, move right on down the line. And it's funny, I have all the trainers in the world equipment wise, but for camera use, this little short stick is just about perfect for a lot of what I need to do. So I keep that in mind. This works. Now, what's funny is if we look at this, it's not exact, but gee, that doesn't look familiar at all. This is one of my favorite live steel swords. Now, it is a live steel is relatively sharp. Yes, it is a Pakistani blade. Yes, John wouldn't bother wasting spit on it. But I do love it because both it has history, both its style. This is enough for someone as small as I am to use it as a hand and a half. And for non-rapier styles, this is incredibly sufficient, both in blade length and attitude. So I love it. So I tend to make trainers that feel similar, like this little guy. It is possible to make a boffer feel much more. And I will tell you, with the plastidip style of boffers that are out there, the LARP swords, they are much better. And had I seen them at different points, I probably would run with the LARPy group, at post SCA. But I kind of take pleasure in the fact that I'm an equally open ambassador right now. It lets me do what I need to do. Yeah, that's true too, John. I've never doubted that you were very helpful. I will say, guys, it is actually 10 minutes past 2 hours, and it's about as long as I can go without starting to have some hip problems, the weather coming in. No, see, wait, you know what? John makes that joke. That sword is a long dagger, Steve. And I just spent, it's a long dagger to you. But that's not, it doesn't, don't let, guys, when you hear that, because I get people, why are they being mean to you? They're being very derogatory. And it's not, it's just a matter of scaling. For John, it's a long dagger. For me, it is an adequate sword. The blade length on this stick is right in the realm of a short sword. The grip, which is the outside grip of a half-inch PVC, is totally accurate. I mean, it's comfortable to grip. It's like, well, you have to have tiny hands. I have tiny hands. Scale your weapons to you, but don't be upset, because like John's heavy swords, guys, and this is to the people who message me offline, and they're a little, I know some very shy people sometimes watch these videos, and they message me, sword is sword. Yeah, John's rattan clubs, his glaive was 2 inches in diameter, very thick. Part of it was necessary for the great rules of the SCA because they're things, and part of it was that his meat hooks comfortably. For me, I want to say the outside diameter of half-inch PVC is something like 3/4 to 7/8. It's somewhere in there. Very comfortable. But this is very comfortable there. Oh, how do you figure a proper... Cindy does this thing where she drops an incredible question. How do you figure proper sword length for someone whose wingspan is greater than their height? That is exactly, I can guesstimate by somebody's height roughly what it is. At the end of the day, you measure their wingspan and you take it by half. Their wingspan dominates, and then you check. Exactly. So, like, bigger guys, like, part of the reason John gave me this, I think, is because he couldn't get a finger in this guard. It was tiny to him. Yes, John. Don't be afraid to scale your weapons. If you are built like an ogre, or you're built like John, you need giant weapons. If you're small, you need weapons that fit. But here's the thing that needs to be just hammered into people's minds. It is not derogatory. It is not unmasculine, unpersonable. It is not a statement to your character or quality to use smaller weapons because they fit you. In martial arts, often there is a lot of pressure by bigger guys that your gear's too small, ha, ha, ha. And while John is, again, tongue-in-cheek, this is not a shot at John per se. Okay, John is making fun, and he's having fun. We're old friends. There are a lot of people who are genuinely intimidated by that kind of language, especially women. Oh, you can't sword fight because it's too heavy. Yes, it's the red wall sword thing. Pick what feels right. You want to, and yeah, you can always use smaller weapons. Steve prefers knives and short weapons because they fit his lifestyle and his training, and that's awesome. I did not like large parts of from what I heard of Game of Thrones. Some I liked, some I didn't. I didn't get to watch it. That's fine. But what I heard of Arya Stark is like an angel in my mind. She made her needle, and her needle is a beautiful weapon concept as a character. I wish they would, guys, sword makers, if you're watching this, make a polypropylene needle. Okay? You can buy the trainers. I've handled one. It handles, oh, I know, John. That's why I said, I'm not talking to you about this. That's why I'm talking to the people who message me afterwards, worried that either you're being offensive to me or they hear that stuff when they try to train, and that's what actually runs them off. You got to remember, my audience often are people who come from a different sort of background and they've had it hard. And I know you're very good at working with that sort of people. But I have to correct, because they don't know the backstory. So every time we get into this like this, I have to make it clear for the viewers what I'm talking about. Good. Okay. Moving on. Arya's needle fit her. When she went to fight the ice zombies, I lost the name, don't make fun. She commissioned, with the worst art ever, basically a quarterstaff double-bladed glaive thing scaled to her height so she could use it indoors because she was planning on tunnel fighting, and use it with the style of quarterstaff training that she had been trained in. This is the mentality we look for. And that's what I'm doing, John. It isn't a shot at you. Please never feel bad for that. It is me answering the DMs that are popping up like, is he being mean to you? Is he a jerk? No, we're old friends. This is just how we communicate. Yes. Ogre says, for every Fafford, there's a gray mouser. You need to pick a style, and some people are aggressive. There's nothing wrong with that. Lighter, fast weapons that you can move, get in, and do the job. Some people want the area control of a longsword. I get messages, why do you bash longswords? I don't bash longswords. I just don't think they're the solution for every single fighting style and every single problem. This is where oftentimes me and Chad Brooks differ. They have validity, but they're a style, and they take a lot of space to fight right. In an open field, they're really good at keeping space and maintaining that bubble of distance so you can control who's engaging you at what. Ironically, because of the strikes, some of that is dissuaded, much like the staff and glaive strikes in certain organizations, because the amount of power, the momentum of the horizontal swings can generate is so strong, it's a safety issue. That can be an actual training scar where they're taught to break it off from farther than a 90-degree strike. That is a common SCA heavy strike. Oh, yeah, and exactly. And my goal is, I'm a generalist. I pick things that work. Now, Foxy says something. I couldn't do a longsword because they're bigger than me. True. I'm going to do a whole video on scissors in the near future. But this, if I put a cross piece on this, right? If I took this and I just went, hollowed it out, went and put cross piece on here. Okay. I could make a cross piece and make this into a sword much like mine. That being said, with that weapon, someone like Foxy could use great sword techniques because the weapon is scaled to her, so you could take the same technique and scale it to that weapon. So if I'm dealing with I've trained people who are less than 5 feet with rapiers. They're using maybe a 30, a 24-inch rapier. Right. And it can be scaled, or they learn to fight with a bigger weapon. I just really prefer because if you're going to learn a training style, learn one that you could draw and go. Blade length 36. Exactly. That's what I mean by scaling it, but not necessarily scaling the you still use the same techniques. I use Spanish Magic Circle with a 30-inch rapier to quite good effect because it fit my hand, it fit my function. That's what you need to do too. So, like, if I'm teaching Foxy rapier, she may be using a rapier that's this long, and there's no shame in it. Make it go for you. That's why I say measure yourself. You got to figure it took me 15 years worth of notes to write this book, right? One of the first things, right? And there's preference. Your preference may Whatever you want trumps anything I say. It may be harder for you to do, but if you choose to do it with passion and zeal. The first thing I say, I talk about the stickmen, I talk about the parts of a sword, and then I talk about measuring a rapier. You see that? That is on page 8 of 100 and I want to say 10 pages overall. 109 pages of content. Page 8 has me talking about make sure the blade of your rapier is about this long. Thank you, Cindy. That's what I set out for. That book at that point in my life was meant to be if I hit a save point, if I got hit by a bus, my art, my understanding, and my perspective was preserved for people later. So it's really deep and dear to me. So I'm glad it's useful. That being said, get a weapon that fits you and then pick a technique you like. You know? Now, we've gone 20 over the 2-hour limit, and I have to cut out to take a medication right now. So I'm going to say thank you so much for coming out. My Patreon members, guys, you guys are my lifeblood. You let this go. The book I'm talking about is The Simple Sword. Please buy it. If you want an intro to fighting axes, here's this. If there's something else you want, put it in the comments, message me. Follow me on Twitter because Facebook is really dicking with me these days. At N Talker. And that literally is the very beginning of my book thesis. And you know it because I'm pretty sure you have a copy. Thank you for a lively discussion. The next time I see you, I will be 40 years old and probably shorter haired. Not that you'll likely see it because I'll have my head thing. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, hit me up on Twitter, especially. Facebook has the public group. Follow this channel. If you're not liked and subscribed, please ring the bell so you get every notification. Some more weird stuff is coming. And be good to yourself. So be nice, keep your guard up, and as always, support your local swordmaster.